KP's Video News, baby. You know what time it is. KP's Video News.
That's right, it's time for KP's Video News. And after several years of soliciting and writing emails and sending messages to several so-called black TV stations, Centric, TV One, BET, so on and so on, Aspire, so on and so on. I just got this information today, and it's pertaining to like the black news, because I had been petitioning them and asking them questions about why don't you have black news? Why don't you have some, a newscast that comes on in prime time every day? I mean, 7 days a week, between 5 and like 8 o'clock at night. Why don't you have? And I never got any responses whatsoever. They never ever responded. And I know TV One, I believe, had Roland Martin over there. I don't even know if he's still there or not, but then they had him coming on at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning while everybody was asleep. So I've ran into this article today that stated about a new black news channel, and that's what it's called, black news channel, BNC, and it's set to launch in February. So it's coming up in a couple of weeks here. Anyway, I'm gonna read this story, and then I'm gonna go ahead on and do a follow-up on it. So, Tallahassee, Florida, live from Tallahassee, Florida, it's the Black News Channel. After more than a decade of planning, security, investors, and several false starts, the launch of the 24-hour national cable news channel targeting black viewers is now set for February 10th. The network was hyped last year by a bevy of promotional appearances from California to New York. The Black News Channel is the brainchild of former Republican U.S. Senator Representative J.C. Watts, who serves as chairman, and veteran television manager Bob Brilliante as chief executive officer. Watts and Brilliante announced the launch in November 2018 and spent the better part of last year showing up a management team, leasing space, hiring studio designers and on-air talent, and pouring millions of dollars into renovating and outfitting a location. And while ambitious vision has been greeted in the past with skepticism, it's got its biggest boost last October. Jacksonville Jaguar owner and billionaire businessman Shahid Khan announced that he's made the majority investor in the network, which promises to capture an audience hungry for news and information targeting black viewers. So far, that's a white guy and an Arab guy. The Arab guy is the majority investor, and the white guy is the CEO. Let me keep reading. I believe there's an undeniable calling for everything the Black News Channel will deliver to African American television audiences who have historically been underserved, Khan said in a news release. My decision to invest is an easy one because we get to answer that calling. This is a balance for me to make an impact on how African American report and consume news and related programming, how their voices are amplified and heard, and how all of us can better connect socially, culturally, and economically, and more. Brilliante said Khan and his family have been working with the management team for the past 2 years. The New York Post has reported Khan's investment as exceeding $25 million. A national outlet that's culturally specific to the African. Watts, Brilliante, and others who have been working on the plan since at least 2005. Watts said the network's first and foremost will be a news operation, but will offer programming targeting women, culture, history, weather, and other staples. Targeting women, culture, history, weather, and other staples. What about African American men? You're not going to target them, huh? Okay. We are a CNN, Fox News, MSNBC type of organization that will culturally specific to the African American community, Watts said. Who is it in the marketplace that today that talks in terms of wellness about sickle cell anemia, Watts said, referring to red blood cell disorder, the most prevalent among black people. Who in the marketplace today is talking about HBCUs, historical black colleges or universities? Unlike networks that use political pundits or other journalists to address national policy, PNC will tap into the African American Mayors Association to get its members' views on how the policy out of Washington is playing out in urban cities. The Washington office will bring in perspective from the Congressional Black Caucus. I'm talking to people who actually live the politics, those who have to implement the policies and see how it impacts their community, said Watts, who served as a Republican congressman from Oklahoma from 1995 to 2003 and is now chairman of J.C. Watts Companies. J.C. Watts Companies said, okay, so here we have a conservative black Republican is one of the co-founders. Oh boy. Oh boy. This isn't a station that has been acquired, Watts told the Tallahassee Democrat part of the USA Today network. This is a network that is starting from ground zero. Okay. So already I got issues with this, you know. Like I said, you got a black Republican and a white guy that are the co-founders, and then your major investor is an Arab guy from the Middle East. And this is supposed to be called the Black News Channel. All right, now I'm going to read this story here that that I'm getting from The Root, and people at The Root say, Fox News for Negroes? Upcoming Black News Channel looks pretty conservative. And when I hear that word conservative, the first thing I think about is people that are thinking about going backwards. They're trying to take us back to the bad old days. You know, the bad old days for black folks, you know, the Jim Crow era. You know, that's what conservative means to me. It's like you trying to go backwards in time, trying to go back, just like that whole slogan, make America great again, white again, whatever it is. You know, you talking about going back in time, back to the Jim Crow era. And when I hear that word conservative, and if I hear that word conservative, black conservative, that just let me know it's really just a bunch of uncles just trying to help take this thing back to the Jim Crow era. So you got to be real careful out there when you hear that somebody talking about being a black Republican and conservative. All right, anyway, on with the story here. Thursday's announcement of the launch of the groundbreaking news channel aimed at black audiences set the internet on fire. There would finally be a news organization focused on issues important to the black community. Or maybe it's a Trojan horse. Upon taking a closer look at the Black News Channel, the first thing that sticks out is it was founded by Republican Congressman J.C. Watts, one of the forefathers of the black conservative movement and All Lives Matter haircut. On the company's website, Watts is listed as the chairman, co-founder, and visionary, while television veteran and white man Robert Brilliante is listed as CEO and co-founder. Brilliante, whose BNC bio describes him as a longtime advocate for ending racism in America, which could be also describe Superman, Martin Luther King, and Donald Trump, has previously tried the Black News Channel angle before. This regional Florida news channel lasted from 1998 to 2003 when it partnered with another failed project, the Atlanta-based Majority Broadcasting Cable Network, which was supposed to become the Black CNN. The chief operating officer appears to be white, and only one of the company's 4 vice presidents is black, which does not preclude the network from producing, creating, and airing relevant black news because, cough, cough, The Root is part of the family of websites currently owned by a rich white dude. However, the channel's black investors and owners and Arab owners seem to lean toward the bootstrap side of the aisle. Aside from Watts, the list of owners investors include Angela Saylor, a black woman who worked for the ultra right wing Heritage Foundation; Timothy Wright, a Chicago attorney who worked for both Bush administrations; Elroy Saylor, who works with J.C. Watts and served on the Trump transition team; Steve Pruitt, another employee of Watts Consulting and former executive vice president for operations of the United Negro College Fund. Watts will host a show called My America, and Larry Elders, oh boy, Larry Elders, fire alarm, fire alarm, fire alarm. Any people on the East Coast that are watching this that don't know who Larry Elders is, Larry Elders is a black guy out of California. I'll take that back. A Negro out of California that was super black Republican conservative, that if it was any black issues that were in the news, I guarantee he would always go in the direction of protecting the white people involved, or putting the white people up here and the black people down here. That's Larry Elders. That's who he is. As a matter of fact, he was also instrumental in consulting, and along with Ward Connerly, which is another black conservative in the state of California, which actually brought a lawsuit against the universities and the colleges and universities in the state of California to get rid of affirmative action in the colleges in the state of California, and was successful in removing affirmative action from the universities and colleges in the state of California. So that meant the number of black students that got a chance to go to college in the state of California went from here all the way down, out of sight. You see my hand? You don't see it anymore. Out of sight. So I think UCLA might have had like 10 black people enrolled in 2019, opposed to back in the day. It was what the numbers were 10 times more. Now you barely see any black students on that campus, except for the ones that are on there playing basketball, playing sports. So that's who Larry Elders is, and so they said Larry Elders, they're going to he's going to have his show on there. Boy, I'm telling you. So it says we'll host a show called My America, and Larry Elders, longtime conservative talk show host, will also headline the show on the Black News Channel. If you can't recall who Larry Elders is, here's him explaining to Candace Owens why black people always play the victim. Oh boy, he's a coon, man. He's a real coon over there. One of the positive aspects of BNC's plan is that it plans to feature and highlight historic black colleges and universities, partnering with Florida A&M University. The channel will be reportedly reach 33 million people across America, and for what it's worth, they're hiring. At least you won't have to get a haircut for the interview. Oh boy. So after seeing this, the only thing I can say is whenever they get started, when you start it in a couple of weeks, when they get going, I'm going to have to watch it and come back and report on what I see, because just from what I've gathered so far, it's it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. You're talking about a black Republican was the co-founder, along with his white buddy, along with the majority stockholder and the majority investor is from the Middle East. And then you're talking about a black conservative reporter like Larry Elders getting a spot on the channel. I don't know how long I can watch this. I'm gonna watch a couple of episodes, but I don't know if I'll be able to watch this channel, especially not if they're featuring somebody like Larry Elders. Man, I just can't do it. I just can't. So we're gonna get back with it. We're gonna get back with it. We're gonna get back with them. Peace.